Welcome to the Visual Kei podcast. I'm your host, Frederick, also known as Whirling Black, and with me today I have...
You got your co-host, Alexi.
And I'm your podcast producer and editor, James, also known as Plant Online. Boy, did we have a lot of trouble with, with our last episode.
Yeah, that's...
it's that the sophomore slump.
What? Yeah, definitely.
wait.
Like, when the second album is bad, it's called the sophomore slump, isn't it?
I've never heard that.
The sophomore slump?
Yeah.
Okay, I misheard you. I thought you said the sophomore slump, and I was like, what is that?
The sophomore slump. All right.
Wow.
Yeah, not that one.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm just happy we got this episode out, to be honest. I was kind of despairing for a bit when I heard how badly the recording had fucked up in some places.
Yeah, so we recorded it pretty early on, and I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be great. I'm going to have the whole 2 weeks to edit it, and nothing's going to go wrong. But so the way we record episodes is everyone records their own voice locally at home, and then I just sync the tracks together. But some of those local recordings were damaged, so we just couldn't use them, and we had to retake the episode. And this time, for the second take, we used a Discord bot, because we record the episodes on Discord. We use a Discord bot named Craig that records us. I don't know why it's called Craig, but it is.
But I know that Craig really fucked us over.
Yeah. Records our voices individually. So I thought, okay, if our tracks get messed up, I at least have those Discord individual tracks. But Craig disconnected in the middle of our recording. And just the recordings did not sync up well. So it's just for the second take, I literally just had to use the track I recorded during the session, just the raw session of all of us on one track. So I apologize for that. You got Discord sounds in the middle of the episode and had all that Discord compression on our voices, but
Yeah, I think you did a good job.
What does it say about the podcast when even the bot doesn't want to be our audience?
Yeah,
good point. Yeah, but I think I think it speaks volumes that you managed to get an episode out of it despite everything. So, I mean, I think we are quite happy just not having to do a third take of this.
Yeah, I think we talked about it. We're just I can't do a third take.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it was kind of weird because we had a server event on the RareSat Discord server planned, a quiz based on the episode. The previous episode, obviously, and it wasn't out by the time the quiz happened, so the sort of relevance of the questions became totally, nothing, I
irrelevant.
suppose. There was no... Yeah, irrelevant, exactly, that's the word I was looking for, because, I mean, I choose, songs that we talked about or featured more prominently during the podcast to be on the quiz, but then the podcast wasn't out yet, so they had nothing to go on.
It's funny still how people actually did better than when we were featuring new Visual Kei bands on the first quiz.
Yeah, they did really well, actually.
Yeah, the top score was 11 out of 15, and it was two people who had the same score, so we had to do a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
And the funny part is that I choose what I thought was the most one of the most famous Visual Kei songs from the late 1980s as the tiebreaker. Yeah, I'll never let this go. And then none of them knew it. They were like, who the hell is this? What is this?
Yeah, so the tiebreaker question is just we play a song and whoever gets it first wins. And it's just the most popular song and no one got it. So we had to play another song.
Yeah, exactly. It was Shade by Luna Sea, which according to me is very popular at least.
Yeah, it's popular in the Frederick household.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's a demo version. Yeah. I can see how that would throw you off because it probably took me a good few years until I even realized that Luna Sea even has demos.
Yeah, I guess it's not that prominent because the first album is so popular, you sort of don't really realize they had anything before that.
Yeah, and also the breakdown is very different.
Yeah, it's a lot slower also. I think the speed of it is more similar to the re-recording they made in 2011. But sorry, this is not a Luna Sea podcast, I'm sorry.
It's not Frederick's favorite songs podcast.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
Actually, it kind of is.
Yeah. It's it happens when you're the host. You kind of get to choose what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's true.
So anyway, the topic of today's episode is the very popular band Malice Mizer. Malice Mizer? Malice Mizeru? How do you say it, guys?
Malice Mizer is a name I'm really afraid to say because as a native English speaker, Malice Mizer is most intuitive for me to say. But then I think like, no, it's a Japanese band, so it should probably be Malice Mizer. And it's neither, right? It's Malice Mizer.
Yeah, because it's, based on malice and misery.
Yeah.
Well, as a native Finnish speaker, you can only go wrong.
Yeah, and I think that trying to just read English words in katakana when it's not even written in katakana is kind of, I don't say diruan gurei either. It's just, no, it's not for me.
I honestly think that it's pretty blowhardish to try to pronounce everything like exactly the way that, let's say, people from that country pronounce it.
Yeah, I mean, for like native Japanese words, I make an effort for it, but I'm not going to try to translate. Jesus Christ! I'm not going to try to pronounce. That's what I'm not going to try to pronounce English words in a Japanese accent just to emulate the bands.
I actually think that you should definitely try to translate it.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about the Black Dream.
Yeah, exactly. The gray coin.
But yeah, I agree with you. If it's a foreign word, like if it's an English word, then I'm not going to pronounce it with a Japanese like katakana accent. That's bizarre. But I think it's just like the word miser. Like I don't know what that. It looks like a foreign word to me, even though it doesn't look Japanese. So I'm just very like confused by it when I see it.
Isn't there a word, like actually though, a legit word that is miser, like someone who is stingy with money or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's a miser.
It is a miser, but it is written with an S and not a Z.
Yeah.
Ah, right. Yeah.
But the thing is, like, we as a humanity have hundreds of years, if not thousands of years of a history of localization. So I'm not gonna, change that now. I mean, even like a perfect example is how Finnish people speak Swedish, even if they're native speakers.
Yeah.
They pronounce it with a very heavy Finnish accent, and it's just as valid as Swedish from Stockholm.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is true.
Anyway, we have a saying, which is that a child that is loved has many names.
Yes, exactly. So you might hear multiple pronunciations of this band's name today, but hopefully you will have some sympathy for our tries at least to get it correct.
Yeah.
So before we start the discussion on the music, we're just going to give you guys a quick recap about the band and their sort of general history and discography. So that's coming up right now. Malice Mizer was formed by Mana and Koji in August of 1992, recruiting vocalist Tetsu and drummer Gas shortly thereafter. They put out their first demo tape, Sans Logique, in October of that same year, which despite the band having a vocalist at the time, consisted entirely of instrumental songs. The first release that featured the entire band was the track Speed of Desperate, released in February of 1993 on the omnibus CD Brain Trash. Soon after that, Gas left the band to join Nuclear Romance, switching places with their drummer Kami, who joined Malice Mizer instead as a support drummer. He became a full member in June of the same year. During this year they also released 2 more demo tapes, Sadness in April and The Firth Anniversary in October. In July 1994, the band released their first full-length album, Memoir, and did extensive touring in support of it. On Christmas Eve of the same year, they released a deluxe version of the album called Memoir DX, with a bonus track Baroque, later one of the most popular tracks of the Tetsu era. On the 27th of December, vocalist Tetsu officially left the band after doing one last show. The band was then dormant for a while, until they recruited vocalist Gakt, previously of Kane's Feel, as their new vocalist. They did their first live with this lineup on the 10th of September 1995, and in December they released their first single called Uruvashiki Kamen no Shotayo. 1996 was a busy year for the band. In June they released their second full-length album, Voyage Sans Retour, and toured extensively throughout the year, including fan club-only events. In October they released the single Ma Chérie, an old song previously performed with Tetsu but never released, but now with Gakt on vocals of course. It's one of the few songs that have been performed live by all three vocalists of the band. The first months of 1997, the band again spent touring heavily for the Voyage album. Then in April, they announced that they were making their major debut the same year, joining Nippon Columbia in July. They then released their first major singles, 2 versions of Bel Air in August and September, and then Au Revoir in December. 1998 was what many would consider the peak of their fame, starting it off in February with the release of the Gekka no Yasokyoku single, and then finally their first and only major album, Merveille. Later in the year they also released 2 more singles based on the tracks on the album, Illuminati in May and Le Ciel in September. In January of 1999 they announced that vocalist Gakt had left the band, and in June drummer Kami died suddenly of a brain hemorrhage. He was after this point credited as an eternal blood relative and not replaced for the remaining years of activity. In September, the band announced that they had returned to their own indie label, MIDI.net, run by Mana, and released some instrumental songs on the singles Saikai no Shi Tobara in November and Shinwa in February of the following year, which was a tribute to Kami. In August of 2000, they released their final full-length album, Bara no Seido, and a few days later at a concert at the Nippon Budokan announced that vocalist Klaha had officially joined the band. The band released their final singles run in 2001, consisting of Gardenia, Beast of Blood, Mayonaka ni Kawashita Yakusoku, and finally Garnet, as well as a feature film called Bara no Konrei. In December of 2001, the band went on hiatus, which has lasted to this day, except for 2 revival concerts in 2017, where the band performed with their old roadies as vocalists, as none of the original vocalists were able to, or wanted to, participate. Okay, so let's get started with the sort of first era of the band when they had Tetsu as the vocalist. Personally, my favorite era of the band. It was for their demo tapes as well as the first album, Memoir.
A quick word on the demos at first. Sans Logique is very interesting.
Yeah.
Especially for the year that it came out. It's kind of like an outsider record in Visual Kei at the time, I think. It's very raw, spooky.
Yeah, extremely raw and very atmospheric, but I think also it stands out that it's songs that sound like they are written for vocals, but there are no vocals on the actual songs.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they were already sort of blowing up in the club circuit, so they just need to put out something.
Yeah, because the thing is that they definitely had a vocalist at the time when this was recorded, so I'm not sure what happened there.
Probably the same that happened to the last episode of the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they recorded his vocals for all the songs, and then they were like, "Shit, we couldn't afford another cassette tape to record on." So, yeah, we accidentally overdubbed your vocals. Sorry.
Yeah, I do love the very compressed sound, especially on bad rips. The guitar tone sounds like icicles. It's great.
Yeah, I feel like bad compression can actually do something really fun and interesting to instruments a lot of
Yeah,
the
I'm all
times.
about that.
Yeah, sounds cool.
Yeah, I agree. Like, especially for this kind of very atmospheric, also tape recording, so you have that sort of tape hiss in the background as well. It definitely adds to the feeling of it. And I think that the second demo tape, the Sadness one, the song is very unique.
Yeah, that's the one that they salvaged from this one. And Sadness is fantastic. I think it's actually one of their best songs overall. It's probably the most gothic thing they did.
It's a very untypical song for the band as well, and they didn't do anything like it after or before. Well,
Yeah.
before it wasn't really much room before that, but you know.
Yeah, but they definitely started the band with that in mind because it was already on Sensible Geek, just Sun's the vocals.
Yeah, exactly. Sans the vocals. That's good. Yeah, exactly. And there's also something that's kind of interesting, though, is actually that their omnibus release, Brain Trash, was released before this demo tape. So their CD track, Speed of Desperate, from the Brain Trash omnibus was out already in February of 93. And I think this one was in like April, so it was 2 months before. And it actually, it's the only recording except Sunslow Geek that has gas on the drums.
Do you remember what other bands that VA has?
Absolutely not.
Alright,
I remember we had a list for it last time, but I think there was literally no one interesting except the Pias, I think, was on it.
Ah, okay. Yeah, you know what? That's possible. The band did start touring with very interesting bands very early, like Mizer and Siam Shade.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine when you look at later eras that they would play with that kind of bands, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Well, they really grew so big that it probably didn't benefit them to play with anyone.
Yeah, they grew extremely quickly. Like, even in the Tetsu era, you could see their progress from live houses, like from very small places to quite big ones, only over a period of 2 years.
Yeah, and that does take us to Memoir, which was big of a hit enough to release Memoir DX afterwards.
What is the difference between the DX version? Is it like Link's Awakening DX?
It has one extra song. It has the track Baroque tacked on at the end, which was apparently not finished in time for the release of the regular edition, but since Tetsu was leaving the band, I suppose they wanted to put out all the material they had with him.
This track is very necessary. I don't even recognize the version without it.
Yeah, me neither. I think the DX version is certainly the superior one, because the rest isn't re-recorded or remastered or anything like that. I believe it's just that there's an extra track at the end, which is one of their longest tracks, I believe. It's over 7 minutes long, and it's very, very progressive and very aggressive.
Yeah, and that does take us to the style of the album, which it kind of does already have all those Malice Mizer staples. Eclectic genre experimentation in the middle. One of the tracks they would reuse later, obviously, on the third album. And Mana's riffing style having a lot of classical music flourishes.
And some violins and piano sampled as well.
Right, yeah. So it is kind of like a chamber music-esque atmosphere at times.
Yeah, I think the difference compared to the later stuff, though, is that it also has that sort of early goth rock feel to it, which the later albums lack.
Yeah, definitely. And also it helps that Tetsu has a gothic tenor, I guess, if that's a word, in his vocals. I mean, sometimes he sounds like a cat in heat, especially in the more rocking tracks. I think he's fantastic. Full disclosure, me and Frederick both have the hipster opinion. This is their best album, and he's the best vocalist.
Yeah, that's a spoiler for the end. We're going to talk about which were our favorites.
Oh,
but
sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all right. It's all right. We can just motivate it again at the end. Just hammer it in.
Yeah. Well, speaking of full disclosure, James, what do you think?
I'm looking over my notes, and I wrote down, this sounds like either a carnival or a funeral. I don't know if that was for the whole album or certain songs. I think it was like almost the whole album.
It makes sense to me.
What? It makes sense? Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I get what you mean, I suppose. I always felt like an album like Merveille was more of a like a carnival album. Like a song like Gekka no Yasokyoku is very carnival-esque to me, like something you would play at the circus.
Yeah.
Well, that album reminds me of like a music box.
Yeah,
So you
that is true.
turn
yeah.
the thing and shit comes out. And I think that was sort of one of the formative ideas of Malice Mizer in general. And I can hear it already in here as well, just in a very sort of raw, early Visual Kei form.
Yeah, and I think also it's interesting to note the sort of duality between the guitarists. Like Mana has a very specific sensibility with his very neoclassical influences, and then you have Koji, who does songs like Seraph on this album, which sort of stands out in its very pop-esque sound almost.
Which is something that they would definitely pursue later, more than in here.
Yeah, definitely. I think that Mana soaked up some of that as well for a while. Certainly for Merve, at least.
Yeah, I have to throw the ball back to James. What do you think of the vocalist?
Well, okay, so controversial opinion for you guys. I think this is my least favorite vocalist.
Yeah, that is not a very controversial opinion, like in the general public.
Yeah, you're definitely in the majority there, I think. And also, I think it's, neither me or Alexi had him as our favorite the first 100 times we listened to this band.
Yeah, definitely not.
It's something that has come over the years. We just sort of gravitated towards his style of singing.
I started out as a gigantic Gackt fan. Not a fan of his solo career, but definitely a fan of his performances on Malice Mizer stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was also because it was very accessible in the early days. You could find the kind of like low resolution rips of the Merve era music videos and stuff like that.
Yeah, and the live performance as well was widely distributed on YouTube. But now times have changed, and you can find a lot of bootlegs from Tetsu era, Malice Mizer, including their last live with him, and then just some very, very random club concerts shot with a camcorder in the audience, and they are all amazing. He's an incredible live performer, I think.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something that's worth watching for people.
Yeah, it also shows how eclectic Mana is, introing one of the gigs with like Milleen Farmer song, which is probably something that other Visual Kei bands at that time didn't do.
Yeah, I doubt it. It's kind of like a tangent, but I just have to mention that I was watching Alien Mariage and Phobia live stream the other day, and their intro music was Rammstein.
Oh, yeah. See, that's the fucking thing that Visual Kei did, which I don't like. We started with cool music, and now we're at this like mixture of dad nu metal and like goth industrial. I don't mean like 80s industrial culture industrial. I mean like that mall industrial.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I've been to a lot of gigs in Japan. I've rarely, if ever, enjoyed the background music. I think sometime like there was, I think for gigs with the band Dish, they used to do like early The Cure and Kuroyuma and stuff like that for their entrance music. So that was pretty cool. But other than that, it's usually garbage.
Yeah, but Dish are a bunch of nerds.
Yeah, exactly. They're not representative at all for the scene in general.
I get so triggered by the way Gact butchers the lyrics.
Yeah, he can't really pronounce the English. Like,
No, not at all.
I think it's like, "Are you missing me?" Is that what they're supposed to sing?
Yeah, that's what I think he says. Yeah.
And I think Gackt's, yeah, because when Tetsu sings it, you can actually hear what the lyrics are. But when Gackt does, it's like, "Are you missing me?"
Yeah,
He tries.
Yeah. Yeah, but so we're moving on now to the, I suppose, the most popular era of the band when they had Gackt as the vocalist. But it's pretty easy to just think about the sort of 97, 98 period when they had the big hits, the major contract and stuff. But they actually started out still being an indie band, but at the time he joined, and they did a lot of club touring in 97 and 95, sorry, 95 and stuff like that. And their earliest stuff with him, like the Urushiki Kamen or Shotaijo single and the Voyage album, definitely sounds a bit like the Tetsu era in some ways.
Yeah, definitely. And also speaking to how big they were, in the club scene, Gackt is recruited from a band that sounds a lot like early Malice Mizer. And at this time, you also have Lara in it, which also sounds like Malice Mizer. So they were definitely not nobodies. And they almost recruited a fan, I think, into the band.
Yeah, it's possible. I'm not going to speculate on that, but it might very well be that they played gigs together with this previous band or something like that.
Oh, no, I mean, like, they legitimately sound like a knockoff. Canesfield does.
But didn't a lot of the bands at the time sound like that? I mean, if you listen to early Mizer, it's very similar as well.
Oh, I don't know. I think early Laraine and Canesfield are just like it's a different category.
Straight off, just carbon copy.
No, I mean that's cool though.
Yeah.
We didn't have too many of those bands, I think.
Yeah.
But anyway, like on Voyage, they're already like expanding their horizons a lot. It's a very mixed bag.
Yeah.
Maybe not like as far as the quality goes, but like this is the first album with a stereotypical Közi song. There's a Tetsu era leftover, kind of like an Visual Kei rock piece. I mean, like totally not rock at all, like Transylvania. So, and then the bossa nova experimentation. I understand why this album is very appealing to some people, just because it's like, again, very eclectic.
Yeah, I think that my problem with it is that it feels like an album that is sort of stuck in between two eras, so it becomes eclectic, but I think it's not always a good thing. It also feels a bit unfocused to me. Like, for example, you have those Tetsu leftover songs, like Shinobuto and Sencho, which were actually played with Tetsu before he left. And then also a song like Suiyoku no Kakera, which definitely also sounds like something written for Tetsu. And then you have like super Gackt songs like Premier Amour and Madrigal and Itsuare no Musette and stuff like that.
Yeah, I actually think the Tetsu era songs are really, really cool. Gackt is just not Tetsu, so it takes a little bit out from them, from me personally. But the other stuff, yeah, it's cool, but it's nowhere near as refined as what comes after this album.
Yeah, that's interesting. I actually wrote down that I liked the Tetsu era songs the most. I think Tsuyoku no Kakera I wrote down. It's pretty good. It's catchy.
Yeah, the riffs are very cool.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is
and
even more unfortunate that this is the time when they start slowly getting rid of riffs.
I don't know though. I mean, I liked Premier Amour a lot too, and that's a Gackt song.
No, I like all this stuff. Like, it's a good
Yeah.
album.
I mean, technically, all of them are Gackt songs on here, but
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell that, for example, like Tsuyoku no Kakera has that like twin guitar riffing,
Yeah.
which really didn't happen in the Gackt era, except on like a few, like Bel Air, for example, has it, but it might be one of the only ones.
Yeah, and if you find a bootleg where Gackt attempts to sing some of these songs, you realize that he really can't.
Yeah, especially when you hear him trying to sing the Tetsu songs. Like I heard lives of him doing Seraph and Baroque and stuff, and it's just he's really straining his voice trying to reach those notes.
conspiracy theory. I think the reason why the gig from this era, which made it onto a VHS, it doesn't have the entire set list. Maybe that's one of the reasons.
Yeah, they cut like half the songs, and most of the songs remaining only are featured in half length or something like that.
Yeah,
it might
that's really
also
unfortunate. It's still a document, so it would be nice to have the entire thing. But at least we have Japanese bootleggers, so...
Yeah, I mean, it was certainly filmed, I think, so it doesn't make sense. I mean, they could milk some money out of that if they used to release the uncut gig.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't turn the cameras off. Like, guys, I think we got enough for the fans.
Yeah, especially when it's like half songs from the whole set. You know that they filmed the whole thing. They're not going to turn on the camera for half a minute and then turn it off.
Yeah, or the same thing happened to the recording as to our podcasts.
Again,
Malice Mizer is plagued by technical difficulties.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, I think Deer Grey lost their whole tour footage in some kind of
oh yes,
data
for Macabre,
crash.
I think.
Yeah, that's from what I remember at least. I bet
That's
that Silent
tragic.
Tower
It's
is
their
going
best
to.
era.
Yeah, but Silent Tower is going to write the pod now and complain that we got this completely wrong.
Yeah, no, I think it was the Macabre. But anyway,
Yeah.
like also about like how sort of unrefined this album is compared to the next one is that some of the stuff really sounds like music that would be playing in a Poke Center, like real PS1 vibes on some of this shit, like especially No Pains, No Gains.
Yeah, that's very much a Koji song, I believe.
Yeah, definitely.
It's one of his early attempts at doing the electronic stuff.
Yeah, I think we've decided that all in all, it's a pretty nice, fun album.
Yeah,
That's sort of this band sort of spreading its wings, I guess, for the first time.
Yeah, I think it's struggling with the consistency, but the songs individually are all fine. I wouldn't rate this a bad album in any way. It's a solid album. It's just not something I would consider like a, how do you say, like a
Masterpiece.
top album. Yeah, like a masterpiece, exactly.
Yeah, definitely. And that's probably why it gets the shaft a little bit compared to the third album. I love the album cover, though. The album cover is like something that you would find at like a second-hand store with random CDs. And it's like Christmas music from Yo-Yo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it does. I can see that.
Yeah, so I think that the progression from there to Merveille is kind of not completely obvious, but if you look at those songs I labeled gacked tracks from the last album, I think you can kind of see where it was leading.
You could definitely connect the dots.
Yeah, like a song like Premier Amour, for example, in an updated version could fit on this album without a problem.
I think Transylvania is also building up to Sunicus.
Oh, yeah, I could see that in some way. But yeah, this was obviously when they were at their peak in popularity in Japan. So I think this is also the album most people have strong feelings for because it's the one they were exposed to first, most likely at least. Unless they were like hardcore into Moi du Moi or something, and then they heard Barano Seido or something first. But I would suspect that Merveille is most people's introduction to Malice Mizer. So I would say that this album is, compared to the previous one, extremely consistent throughout. Like, this is an album I can definitely put on back to back and feel like all the songs belong together in some way.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's all hits. Legitimately, it's hits from top to bottom. The production is airtight. There's a lot of elements. Just like you can tell that they got a budget. If they didn't have it for the last two, they definitely got it for this one. And the PV budget is also out of this world.
Yeah, and I think that helps the reason why people are so attached to this album, because like I mentioned earlier, the PVs for the songs on this album are all iconic in Visual Kei. Like all of Visual Kei, they're iconic. And yeah, and it was just very, I think a lot of kids our age when we got into VK were very attracted to this sort of edgy and bloody image they had going there.
Funny story, this was obviously one of my first Visual Kei bands, and the first thing I saw was the Sunicus Live with Gact walking down the ramp in his Sun King costume. I thought it was awesome, and I still don't know why I like it as much as I do it, because he has terrible hair in it. It's completely gelled up. It's like small sticks of hair.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I thought he looked so cool, and now I just can't. Also, his vanilla hair is terrible. It's
Yeah.
complete shit, but everyone just went like, "Oh, it looks like Cloud from Final Fantasy VII." Like, no, it doesn't.
Oh wait, wasn't there was a Final Fantasy character based on Gact, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the dude from Dirge of Cerberus, Vincent.
Is it? That
Was
does.
it?
I thought it was
Nah,
Squall from Final
no,
Fantasy
Squall
VIII.
is from 8. No, that's not based on him, is it? I think that's just fan rumor.
Yeah, and does Squall even look like Gact though?
Okay, I just looked it up, and you're right. Gact is a character in Dirge of Cerberus. He plays someone named Genesis Rhapsodos.
Fucking Cheese City, Jesus Christ.
It's also kind of funny that his character's name was like almost like two glam rock bands from the West. Isn't Genesis some kind of Western glam rock band?
Yeah, that's right, they are. Well,
And
they're
I
like
think-
prog rock, isn't it?
Yeah, that might be. Yeah, and I think Rhapsody is also some kind of Western dad rock band.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, so they made a Gact character named after two dad rock bands.
Oh, should have been the Priest Maiden.
Yeah, so anyway, I guess you could say that the band definitely hit their peak with this album, like Merveille. And there's also so many different kinds of songs on it. Like you have that one song with riffs, Bel Air, which definitely has some rock feeling to it. Might even be like proto sort of Kamijo stuff in a way.
I think La Reina does take a few things from this album in general.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bel Air obviously has that sort of classic Malice Mizer riffing, but then like the remake from Memoir and Lucille they do have a guitar. It's that middle Memoir type of style, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. And I think Lucille was the only song that Gact wrote for this album, and it also turned out to be their biggest selling single they ever made. So my kind of guess is that this is when the record label headhunted him for a solo career.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing, that they just came and pulled from his sleeve and said like, "Dude, you want to bail?" And he was like, "Well, how much are you gonna pay?"
You know what song really stood out to me? Breeze, I think, is that how you say it? Track 5. That one is really poppy and just like very, I don't know, radio friendly, and it kind of took me off guard when it kicked on. I was like, oh, is this like the same band?
Yeah, it speaks to diversity, I guess, and it has a fun live as well, where you're just kind of dancing around the stage and.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of interestingly sandwiched in between Illuminati and Ege.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because Illuminati is obviously kind of a very, how would you describe it, like dark wavy kind of sound to it.
I guess it's because his finest moment.
Yeah, in this band at least, certainly.
Yeah.
One of them. I mean, I still prefer Seraph, but that's just me.
Ah, well, actually, yeah, you know what? I might be on the boat as well, but it's a cool track.
Yeah.
Also, actually, S-Conscious.
Oh, okay. I was literally just about to mention that. Can we talk about that track? Because at a certain point, it just like breaks into, it sounds like people having sex. That's all I wanted to mention.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely a very, very strange track.
Yeah, I think it actually sort of prefaces the next album. It has that sort of pummeling, percussion or whatever.
In a way, definitely. I can see that. Like, it's a hint of the future direction. And
sex wasn't a hint of future direction.
And I was going to say also that I think that this album is people often see it as the most representative album of the band, but I would probably argue it's the strange one out. If you compare it to their other 3 albums, it's the most stylistically different.
Yeah, definitely, it's the most diverse and uncharacteristically, I guess, very good studio production. Overall, just a really professional job.
Yeah, and it also has that distinct sort of pop appeal to it, which is the other albums don't.
Yeah, I mean, this is the only album it hits. Well, you could say that the late singles with Klaha are also hits.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's not like anyone goes to in a party and says, can you play random track from Voyage? No, that would never happen.
Actually, I've had requests at the club for Madrigal. So yeah, but I guess that's the only one.
That's a very strange crowd.
I don't know. People just like it. What can I say? Yeah. So James, did you have any final impressions you wanted to share on this album, since you're the one who was the most fresh to it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. We already covered your standout tracks, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah, so let's move on then to the next period. Okay, so something that's worth mentioning, like I did in the introduction, is that between Guct leaving and this new vocalist joining, the drummer Kami died, so the sound took a turn quite for the darker, as you could hear in the sample towards the end.
Yeah, I mean, this album is impossible to not listen to through the prism of Kami's death and Gact's betrayal.
Yeah. It kind of feels like the whole album is one long sort of funeral eulogy of some kind.
Yeah, although I have to say, I was just reading through my notes, and it actually says through the prism of Mana's death. So it's a lot darker than what actually happened.
Wow, Mana's death.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Mana is still alive, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It was God that died.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's probably one of the most unconventional albums I've ever heard under the Visual Kei moniker, and it's all the more impressive that it comes from a band that was just recently making the big bucks and performing on big stages with Gact. And yeah, then they just did you could almost call it a 180. There is very little premonition of the style of this album.
Yeah, and also you can't really pick out hits from this album. This is a sort of thematic album that you probably would hear from start to finish.
Yeah, there is a few songs, which would be sort of traditionally considered songs in Visual Kei. But then there's a lot of stuff that sort of sounds like an interlude that's just extended.
And it's very dreary in some ways. The atmosphere is kind of oppressive almost, and even though it's very bombastic and large.
Yeah, it made me feel like I was going to fight a boss in a Final Fantasy game.
I guess in a way they were sort of doing that. I mean, first of all, it's absolutely a commercial suicide.
Yeah, I mean, coming off the back of Merveille, they could easily just have gotten a sort of good pop vocalist and done another album just like it. And
they could have already gotten the dollar store Gact in Yuka.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they could certainly have found someone. I mean, even Klaha could obviously do more poppy songs like you hear on Gardenia, for example.
Yeah, I mean, as he did later on, for sure. I guess they just had to get this out of their system.
Yeah, and I think it's worth mentioning also they released a few short CDs, instrumental CDs between the departure of Gact and the arrival of Klaha with this album. Sakai no Chitobara and Shinwa, perhaps it's called. Yeah, I think the Shinwa one was released as a tribute to Kami.
Yeah, it came a part of some box or something like this, right?
Yeah, I believe so. It was in some kind of special box. Yeah, it has three instrumental tracks.
Yeah, I gotta say though, still like I'm not exactly a fan. I'm sort of a fan in spirit, but not in fact. It's
Yeah,
dangerously close to being pretty tedious, and also this is the time when Mana sort of starts the rest of his career. He introduces this tremolo picked metal riffing that I just cannot stand for the most part. A lot of harpsichord, which coincidentally I also can't stand.
and organs.
Yeah, well, organs are cool. Like to be honest, like
Yeah.
again, like if this album was like a complete one-off, I think
Yeah.
I would like it more than now with the lingering thought that
This
MDM is going to be like all this and
it
more.
led to 20 years of variations of this album.
Yeah, which is super weird considering that like one was innovating the
Yeah.
entire Malice Mizer career up to this point.
Yeah. But I would say that this album, taken on its own, is quite inventive for Visual Kei.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
very unconventional, and I appreciate the effort. But I'm not going to say it's one of my favorite albums or anything. But I really appreciate the effort, and that the fact that it exists makes me happy. But I'm not going to put it on.
Yeah, I also think I also think the same. I respect them a lot as musicians for making this.
Yeah, I think I kind of feel the same way. It's something I like the idea of more than I actually like enjoying it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that I would have to be in a very certain mood for it, and I would have to feel like I had the time and willpower to sit through the entire thing, because I can't imagine myself sitting down and going like, okay, I'm going to listen to track 6 today.
yeah. I mean, you could also say that the main event is kind of already in the beginning, so it shows its entire hand already almost at the start. So like you're in your 3 tracks in a way you've sort of seen everything already. So it's just sort of more of that same. But when you're going through like the first 2 tracks, you're like, this is really fucking epic. But there's only so much epic that you can take.
Yeah, I think track 2 actually is a good representation of the entire album almost. It has a lot of the different segments that feature and in the different songs.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think like once it kind of establishes itself, it just kind of sticks to that and plays it safe. Essentially, there aren't any surprises once you kind of get used to the sound.
Yeah.
And the live DVD is, well, VHS, I think it was, but it's also that. And it's like an hour and a half long, I think, an hour and 20 minutes. And
Yeah.
it's really cool as an idea, but sitting through the entire thing, that's a tall order for me when I'm not that big of a fan.
Yeah, and it has this awful version of Kyoku to Sora as well.
We're the only people in the world with that opinion, by the way. Everyone else seems to love it, but I'm also not a fan at all.
Yeah, it's very funny because like I remember back in the day, apparently in the Visual Kei Club, people would specifically request the Klaha version live, like ripped to MP3 to play during the club. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, they're entitled to their opinion, as I am.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
But
yeah, of course they are. I mean, but I just don't like that he changed the entire vocal melody and the text and everything.
Yeah, I absolutely cannot stand the change, and I think Klaha's voice is actually the best served in these pop songs, which they would do like Gardenia. He's wonderful in it.
Yeah, I think we should probably mention that, yeah, like, after this album, it felt like they had, like, a new cycle going on. Like, with Beast of Blood and Gardenia and Garnet, they kind of, like, already had the next album sound planned out, and it would have been so cool to hear where that album would have gone, because it's more like the earlier stuff, but with Klaha.
Yeah, it actually kind of would have been like a meta to this album, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sort of a super, like an eclectic, well-produced pop album.
More accessible, like it's an album where you could pick out individual songs and say, let's put on this one.
Yeah, less of a statement and more like an album of songs.
But obviously it wasn't meant to be, and they disbanded shortly after the release of the third one, Garnet. So it's kind of sad that that promise was left unfulfilled, and I cannot see the band releasing anything today because I mean Klaha is long gone, and the others have sort of. I mean, when they do a Malice Mizer live, no one is going to want to hear a new song. They want the, if they're doing reunions or something, they want the old stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of depends how they would pull it off, but it started to look like they will just not. They will do the revivals every once in a while, maybe. I was listening to Kaya's cover from oh fuck, I don't remember what song it was, but I thought it was actually pretty good. They could have even actually had like a fourth period with Kaya on the vocals if they wanted.
Yeah, his vocal style fits the band, I think.
Although at the same time, it kind of would have been sort of like a mix of Gagt and Klaha in a way. And what I do appreciate in Malice Mizer is that all the eras are drastically different from each other, both in like stylistically, and the vocalists are very different as well.
Yeah, that is true. You can tell them all apart in a second. And I think it's also worth mentioning the projects they went on after this, just briefly. So after Malice Mizer disbanded in 2001, Mana von Moi, the following year, I believe, in 2002, and he's been going with that ever since. We will probably do a more in-depth episode on them eventually, but my quick take... Yeah, I mean, we will probably make an episode about them at some point.
No, we're not going to do that.
Really?
You're vetoing the idea.
They're pretty popular.
I'm just going to say this, not a fan. To be honest, the first two albums actually, like, they have hits.
Yeah.
They're still, like, sort of well produced. Mana is already kind of settled onto a sound, and he doesn't budge after that. Like, he has his thing.
Yeah.
But then the albums that come after those two, oh boy.
It's it's a very consistent band, I will give it that, but it's also, it doesn't progress. It's been going on since 2002, and I would say that the songs are very interchangeable between eras almost.
Yeah, but also like the production quality got a lot worse.
Oh yeah, that is true as well. I think he lost all the corporate money once Malice Mizer disbanded.
Yeah, I mean, I like Yuka actually quite a bit. I especially like the Yuka hits like Monophobia, Nocturnal Romance. They're pretty cool songs. Doesn't touch Malice Mizer though.
Yeah, that's basically my opinion as well. And I mean, Koji, I think, has the most interesting solo career. It's very difficult to sum up because he has so many different projects. But I mean, his solo under his own name, like Honey Vanity, for example, is a hit, and Kisera Sera and stuff like that. And it's definitely a lot more varied than what Mana is putting out.
Yeah, Ziz is also cool.
Yeah, Ziz, and I was, yeah. Wasn't he in that band with Shuji from Caligari?
Oh, Xavat. Oh, actually, that's even cooler.
Yeah.
Ziz came to Europe, just like Moi du Moi did.
Yeah, exactly.
So, actually, I think all of them have touched the European landmass at this point. Gagt came with the yellow fried chickens as well.
Yeah, I mean, no. I mean, I don't think Klaha has been here.
Oh, right, sorry. Unless they did like a shoot of some sort, but I guess they didn't.
Yeah, Tetsu probably hasn't been here. Yuki hasn't been here, I believe. So, the theory kind of dies
Mana
there.
Took them for a holiday, please.
Yeah, let's hope that.
There was a time when they could afford it. Gotta mention the obvious, probably unfortunately, the biggest thing to come out of Malice Mizer in a way, Gact's solo career. How do you feel about it?
I mean, I would say that Gact's solo career, it's extremely successful, certainly, but it's not for me. I could name like two songs from his solo career. I could say Miserable and Vanilla, and that's it.
Yeah, but those are pretty good songs, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I like those two. I don't complain if someone puts them on, but I mean, if someone tells me like, oh, let's put on Gact's 9th album or something, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, the first release that he put out immediately after leaving Malice Mizer is okay. Miserable is awesome. The other tracks are strange. There's like piano and other sounds. It does sound like it's deriving from that Malice Mizer sound. Actually, there are things even later on that would derive from that sound. Like even a Mars album has like piano, violin, whatever. I'm not a fan though. He takes this pop singing style very quickly that I also can't stand. So I know there are people who like really swear on those early gagged solo albums, and I guess in a way I could see what they like in them, but yeah, personally not a fan. I kept up with him, I guess, to a degree. Like there was that song with the samurai outfit and shit like that. I liked it when it first came out. It's not that bad. Then he started sort of doing really weird stuff. The Yellow Chickens formed. The Yellow Chickens came to Europe and a bunch of other places.
Yeah. I think that's...
Wait, what? The Yellow Chickens?
Yeah, they're like fried yellow chickens.
Yeah. Yellow fried chickens? I don't remember.
That's right.
But I think that we will definitely at some point do a full roast episode on Gact. I think that would be quite funny.
I will not allow it. He's my honmei.
Can I get an explanation of the Yellow Chickens, though? I'm very intrigued by that.
Oh, I wish I could get an explanation on the fucking
I have no idea. I have no idea what went
too.
into that.
All right, so it is what it is then.
Yeah. Then he would obviously run away to Malaysia after evading taxes in Japan, allegedly. Bunch of other stuff also, very much allegedly, but nonetheless, he's kind of out of the scene. He doesn't seem to put out any music these days. He's just doing like weird shit on YouTube, fitness videos.
Yeah.
Some involving genitals, some not.
Oh yeah, he was trying to teach people like how to improve their genital strength or something like that. It was extremely
like
weird.
Actually even his sort of general vibe, if you look at those old interviews from like Japanese talk shows when he's talking about his dick, I'm like, this is so gross. Like that would not fly today. Like if someone did that shit in the West, he would be canceled so fast, and for a good reason too. He's just very unpleasant and bizarre. So that's why these days he's like doing Nico streams with Yohio and Mia, where they're all like 5 Prosecco's deep. Mia and gagged in bottles and Yohio in sips. But they're all equally drunk.
I have to just quickly before we wrap up this topic, I just want to mention the other guys, what happened to them. So Yuki, their bassist, became a designer, I believe, and he doesn't really participate in music at the moment, except for the occasional Malice Mizer revivals. The original vocalist, Tetsu, became really, how do you say, like disillusioned with the whole goth VK thing, and he became like a straight-up rock singer, doing very average, very Western-style rock in a bunch of different bands. And he was also in the supergroup Sigso, which I guess is worth mentioning, with some guys like, I believe Sakura from L'Arc-en-Ciel was in there, and a bunch of other guys.
He went to fucking Uravara Narcissus or something. He was like, this is enough for me.
yeah, he's just, basically, he was happy with that. Just enough of fame to be able to play some gigs. And then who is left? I mean, Kami died, so he kind of didn't have any career after this, and their drummer Gas went on to Nuclear Romance, and then he also later died. So I guess that sums up all the members, what happened after the band.
Yeah. Well, from that note, what did you think about 25th anniversary DVD?
I really enjoyed it. It's I didn't have high expectations when I saw it was going to be a bunch of random vocalists doing the vocals for the songs, but then I realized it was their old roadies, so it felt a bit more, how do you say, a bit more significant, I guess. And a lot of the performances were extremely good. I would say that none of them properly disappointed me.
Yeah, definitely, like, I think as good as you can expect, and it also helped that I liked some of those vocalists a lot. The guy from Moran I like a lot. Shuji, of course, it's very cool.
From Caligari.
Yeah. Yeah, I think good stuff, as good as you could like reasonably
Yeah, and I mean Kamijo, I mean he did the songs that fit his voice, so I think it's
Kamijo
all
is
right.
Kamijo.
Yeah.
I can take him in like small doses.
Yeah, exactly. He's a very nice voice to listen to in average doses. Yeah, so I guess that's the most recent thing they did. They were going to do another limited style revival at an event last year, but it got cancelled due to the coronavirus. So hopefully there will be some more activity coming up in the future. But I think we have now covered this band and from the beginning to today. And so this concludes the episode on Malice Mizer.
And if you want to buy yourself some sweet Malice Mizer merch, James, where could I get myself some of that?
Well, let me tell you about a place called raresut.net. That's raresut.net, not .com. Although I'm told actually raresut.com redirects to raresut.net. So don't worry.
Really? That's convenient for people like me who are URL challenged.
Yeah, and what do they sell there?
They sell Visual Kei, so it's highly topical to our podcast. If you get into like obscure Visual Kei or like the older stuff, you're going to notice a lot of stuff is on cassette tape and VHS tape, which is super annoying because who has a VHR or cassette player laying around anymore? But if you buy from Raresut, they'll totally...
Mate, you said VHR.
Did I say VHR?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, okay. Let's
Keep
not
it
cut
in.
this. Let's keep it in. Yeah. So what can you do then? What do they do with the VHS tapes
What do they
and
do with the
cassettes? Yeah, exactly.
Well, Raresut offers free analog to digital conversion on any cassette tapes, VHS tapes, or VHR tapes, if such a thing exists.
Probably not.
Probably not. But you should buy that kind of stuff from Raresut because they have professional equipment and the expertise to convert it in a way that it's going to sound super high quality. Unless it's like a really old demo tape that is just bad to begin with.
Yeah, like a disclaimer, sometimes the quality of the tape is kind of shit, so they do what they can, and it always sounds better than something you could get from somewhere else. Their gear is pretty amazing, like some of the best tape rips I've ever heard.
Yeah, especially for VHS tapes as well. They look pretty great.
Yeah, that is also true, yeah. And it's also a lot more difficult to rip than cassettes.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, if you're into like old school 90s Visual Kei and such, I think that's a really good option to consider.
So you can go to raresut.com for your VHR tapes. Wait. VHS,
Yeah.
VHR tapes. All right, anyway.
Yeah.
Raresut.net.
Yeah, disclaimer, they do not actually rip VHR tapes. No such thing exists.
It was the VHS's lost brother. It's like what Laserdisc is to a DVD.
Yeah, I wonder if they also rip like Betamax and Laserdiscs and stuff like
For
that.
Or
sure,
like
you know
MD.
it.
Yeah, I think they actually have an MD player
Do
now.
they?
So if you find some, I think so. Yeah, he does. So if you find some obscure Visual Kei MDs that you need to rip, you can get them to Raresut as well, and they will rip it for you.
Wow.
You could get floppy on a floppy disk.
USB drives, you name it.
Yeah, just everything you can imagine, they will rip for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah. Wait. We're not done. We have to mention our release schedule. So this is supposed to come out on the 18th of April. The following Sunday, on the 25th, we're having another quiz over at the Raresut Discord, where once again There will be some questions, there will be some music to listen to, and we will be talking with you guys if you join in. So, oh, and there's a prize, of course, of $10 in store credit for the winner of the quiz. So I think it's worth checking out. There's quite a lot of people, and it's quite fun.
Yeah, and listen, we've got sound effects now, so if you join us, you'll hear stuff like this.
Yeah,
And this.
I think that makes it worth it.
I love that clap. It's like a golf clap. It's just people standing around cheering like, yeah, hole in one.
That's what you get for the winner.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I might just mention that the topic of the quiz is, of course, based on this episode. So it's Malice Mizer themed quiz. So if you listen to this episode, you will definitely have an edge over the competition. So just a hint for those who listen to this. You should definitely participate and try to win some store credit so you can buy that sweet magazine.
Yeah, get that Malice Mizer magazine that they have there.
Get that Malice Mizer VHR.
Yeah, exactly. And hopefully the next episode after this one should be out on the 2nd of May. So until then, thank you everyone for listening, and I hope to see you next Sunday in the quiz.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Twitter at the VK Podcast. And if you want to help us grow, please give us a 5-star rating and recommend us to your friends. You can catch new episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other places.
Thank you for listening, and sayonara.